Hello everyone, in this video we're going to cover the basics of using the Elementor page builder plugin. And I have the Elementor free and the Elementor Pro plugins installed on a WordPress website already. So if you don't have that done, you're going to need to figure out how to do that. I have some tutorials, but whether you use mine or somebody else's, you do want to have a working installation and the pro and free plugins for Elementor installed. So, and have a basic familiarity with WordPress in general. So I'm going to create a new page just to kind of explore. I'm using a template kit, so the colors might be a little bit different than what you're seeing by default, but we can play around with all that. So the first step is, again, to create a page or a post, preferably a page, because you don't want to use Elementor on posts. I talk about that in another video. So we're going to use add new page. And I'm just going to call this testing Elementor builder. And then I'm going to hit publish just to save that title. And then we're going to edit with Elementor. Okay, so we have our testing Elementor builder as the title, and if you want to change the title of whatever page you're working on, you can do so in the settings, and it will be here in this title field. And you can also change the status and other things, featured image, and a couple other things that are also available in the main dashboard area. So the first thing I would recommend doing, oh, we have an AI thing, great. So the first thing we'll want to do is just kind of like play around with it. I wouldn't worry too much about like everything, just kind of have a page and explore, because you don't want to be afraid to break things. And so having a testing page can help with that. So I'm gonna hit the plus button, and the first thing we get is the opportunity to add different types of columns. So we've got one with a down arrow, one with a right and left arrow, well, a right arrow, two columns, a big column and a small column, etc. So if you look at this down arrow and this left and right, or this right arrow, it might not make sense to you what is going on. So let's just play around with it. So I'm gonna click this one, and what did that say? It said direction column. So I'm pretty sure this is what developers or CSS coders call flex box, but that probably doesn't mean anything if you don't know how to code, so I wouldn't worry about it. So I'm just gonna hit this plus button, and we also have some containers. So I think a container could probably be an entire video on its own, so I'll probably do that. But let's just give the heading a try. So I'm gonna drop in a heading, and I'm gonna say, this is the heading at the top. Okay, and now let's see what else we have. So if I click these set of 9 boxes here up at the top, we go back to our basic blocks. Again, I didn't mention this, but it's kind of obvious. There is a sidebar which allows you to have a bunch of different blocks that you can add to your page. So I also didn't mention that there's no way that I'm going to be able to cover everything. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to figure out a lot of this on your own, but just a simple Google search can get you a long way. So I'm going to take this heading and I'm going to try to drop it in again. Okay, there we go. And we can also edit text over here. So I'm going to say this is a second heading. And we can change the HTML tag. So if I change it to 4, it changes the size. So let's have this one as H2 and this one as H2. Okay, so if they're both H2s, let's make this one an H3. Okay, so it's a little smaller. Okay, and then now let's try adding another one. So we can add another one here, and we can drag it and drop it. We can put it above or below. So let's try putting it in the middle. Okay, and let's make this one H4. And I'm gonna say H4 tag in between 2 tags. Well, how about just H4 tag, just to keep it simple, because those other descriptions might make things confusing. So H4 tag. So we can update, and we can click this little eye to preview. And here we get the preview of what the website looks like. So that's great. So let's try something else now. So we have, if you hover over it, we can see that we have this pink tab thing. So if we click it, now we're looking over here and we can see that we have this like container thing. So it says container, but if you click on the text, it says edit heading. This one says edit heading. This one says edit heading. And maybe we should add a paragraph tag. So I'm gonna click the boxes again, and I'm gonna use the text editor. I'm gonna put the text editor underneath the H4 tag, and I'm gonna say, I am part of the text editor block thing. Okay, so now you'll notice that if you click on the header, it says edit heading. If you click on the text editor, it says edit text editor. And then if you click on this section thingy, or this little pink box thing, it says edit container. And so what you'll notice is that whatever you're clicked on has its own set of settings. So if you're going to edit a heading, that's going to be different than if you're going to edit an image or a text editor or an accordion or a video or whatever. Each thing is going to have its own set of like options. But most of them are going to have a content, a style, and an advanced tab. So if we're editing this heading, we can see we have options to edit the content. We can make this a link. So let's say we want to go to, I don't know, msn.com, https://msn.com. And then I'm going to hit this link thing, and we can choose to open in a new window or a no follow. I don't know if this is a new window or a tab, so let's test that out. And let's also say I am a link now. And we're going to hit update. So I'm going to hit update, and then it already refreshed this over in the preview. So it says I am a link now. So now if we hover over it, we can see that we have a cursor, a pointer, a finger pointer thingy to signal that this is a link. So let's click on it, and it opens in a new tab. So Elementor lied. This is not a new window. This is a new tab, but it's okay, I guess. Just kind of silly. So yeah, this is opening in a new tab when you click on it. So let's go back to the editor. And so we have different options. Let's say we want to change the style. So we have the style tab. So we can go here and we can say, okay, here's some text color. Let's change the text color to like a blue to signal that it's a link. Okay. And we have this global colors thing. We'll get to that in a bit later, maybe in a separate video, I don't know. We can also change this to be underlined. We can have typography settings. So let's try to see if we can get it to go underlined. So typography, we can do decoration, underline. And now we have an underlined heading. So you can see there's a lot of options. We can even change the alignment. So let's say we want it in the center. Yep, now it's in the center. If we want it in the right, we can do that. Justified's, I don't want to get into that. You can do some Googling or check out some of my HTML and CSS tutorials to learn more complex things. But let's just center this for now. And then we'll hit update. And I'm not going to show you because, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory what it's doing. But the point is that we have styling options for this heading. And now if we click advanced, we get a lot of other things. So margin and padding is like basically spacing. There's other alignment options. There's just really a lot of stuff to cover. So again, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get to all of this in a single video, unfortunately. But in the advanced tab, we'll just look at a couple things. There's this margin and padding, which are like spacing things, and you can set those, like you can link them together or you can unlink them so they're all separate. So unlinked would have them allowed to be different, but linking, they are all the same. You can also do some responsive settings, so you can change margins, orders, sizes, etc. on different like screens. So desktop versus tablet versus mobile. So that's pretty cool for responsive design. And yeah, that's a very basic overview. And then with the setting, like, so the other thing about the settings is we've talked about headings, but if you look at the text, the style and the text editor, the style, content, and advanced are going to be a bit different. They're going to have different options. You can also click on the container itself and get entirely different options. So we can say it's content width that was boxed, or we can make it full width. So if we do full width, now we get some of the elements going all the way out to the edges. So there's really just a ton of different settings that you can do. So I'm gonna go to the style here for the container, and we're gonna try to switch the background color. So let's say the background color will be let's make it a purple, right? So now we get this purple, or like a grayish type of color. So now we have different colors for different backgrounds. You can set gradients, or you can choose an image to be a background. So let's give that a try. Let's say it's gonna be this person sitting. Now we can see their head, and we can see it's 3 times. So you can change like repeating. So it's like no repeat, or let's see, position, center left. There's just so much that you can do. And so you're really going to have to learn like a lot of different things, unfortunately. But it's pretty simple when you, like, if you're following along with my template kit tutorial, they do most of this for you. So this is just an overview of how to use the thing, but they've done most of the heavy lifting for you. You just have to swap out what you have to swap out their content with yours if you're using a template kit. So I'm going to delete this image, and I did want to show you one other thing. So I think we did this one, the direction column. I do want to make another section for a direction row. So now if we try to do the same thing, let's add a heading. I'm going to add a heading here, and you can see it already kind of feels different because this box is like smaller. The box is only around the text as much space as is needed. So, and we can see it's getting shorter. So, hello, I am in a row container. Let's also change, let's change the color of this background for the container. So I'm gonna say classic, and I'm gonna pick a color. I'm gonna pick like a purple now. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna add another heading. Oh, and now we have another heading, but it's over here. It's to the right of it. And so this is basically Flexbox in action. You don't need to know too much about it, but you can just say that like direction row, the elements are going to be nested side by side. They're going to be nested side by side. So let's another heading, and then now let's try to add another one. Okay. Another, and let's add another one. Okay, and it's just going to keep adding more and more rows. And so I think there's some options for wrapping them to new lines, but that's going to be a topic of another video. I think really we would want to have an entirely separate video on containers themselves. So that, I think, is it for this video. This is a very incomplete tutorial on Elementor Page Builder, but hopefully it gives you a basic sense of the layout. From here, you're just going to have to learn each individual thing. So if you're like, you know what, I need to do a video, you can go ahead and add a video, but you're going to most likely need to Google how to do things with each specific element. And there's also plugins that you may want to install to extend functionality. Like let's say you want an accordion. I don't know if they have accordions in Elementor by default. So if I type in accordion, okay, they do. So I guess we could use an accordion, but you know, maybe there's some advanced features and you need to extend that. So let's add another section. And we can see here that we get more sections. And so you can also move things. You can also, oh yeah, you can put containers inside of containers too, which makes things even crazier. And I think you can move this. At least I thought you could. There we go. Yeah. So if I want to move the big one over to the left, you can do that as well. So you can drag things and drop things as you please. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to move it up here. And this is what makes Elementor so powerful, or so easy to use. I wouldn't say powerful. It's powerful for beginners. So that is, in a nutshell, the basics of using Elementor. Everything else you can see, we can learn individually. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos and articles dedicated to helping you build an amazing website without writing code. We also cover topics like SEO and growing your business. Click the bell to be notified about our latest videos, and let us know what you thought by liking the video and leaving a comment. Finally, check out our website in the description to see our latest products and services we offer and how we can help you accomplish your goals.